You are listening to Lessons Learned number 12. This is not designed to be an inspirational message. This is as much for me as it is for you. If you find it helpful, feel free to share it. If you'd rather not receive these, just let me know. Lessons Learned is exactly that, lessons that I've learned throughout the week. My hope is twofold. One, that I can help you not make the same mistakes that I have made. And two, you would also begin a practice of pausing, reflecting, and moving forward. This lesson has come up again throughout the week. It probably hit its worst moment for me August through December of this past year. And it's the idea that you can do it all. Like you can do everything all the time at a high level. It's just not true. There's trade-offs. If you do one thing, if you say yes to one thing, you're saying no to the next thing. For example, the easy example for me to explain in my world of leadership with football is if a coach says, hey, we need more individual periods during practice. It's like, okay, well, the option is not to add more to practice. We have this amount of time allotted for practice. What are we going to take out? And usually when people go down the road of saying we need to do more of this, we need to do more of that, what we don't initially at least consider is what are we going to do less of because we're doing more of this. The option usually isn't, especially for high capacity leaders, it usually isn't just to do more because usually our schedule's pretty full. It's what are we willing to do less of. August through December this past year, we had my daughter born August 7th. Football started August 11th. My son, Caleb, he started school for the first time August 25th, I think was the date. And then, in the middle of football season, running Train Up Academy, which is still a new school, which we get to lead with Ben and Alyssa Smith. And it's got a ton of work that's involved in that. Train Up Fitness is still a priority. Build Coaching Company is still a priority. And you have all these responsibilities and you want to say yes to hanging out with friends and you want to say yes to still having a life and being a family. And it turns out you can't say yes to everything. And here is where it showed its head, is my kids were the ones suffering for it. Not suffering from less time with me. They were worn out. For example, I was taking Caleb to with me to the JV games, and we'd be out until 10-something p.m. on a Thursday night. He'd still wake up early for school the next morning. He'd still go to the varsity game that night. And we were wondering, why on earth is my kid freaking out? Why on earth is my kid going through these emotional swings? Well, one, he's 5, so that's part of it. But two, we are wearing them down. We were wearing them down. I have a tendency to say yes to too many things, and I don't consider as often as I should the trade-off. When we say yes, we're also saying no to something else. So for our family, what we did is we just did a 2-week reset. We said, hey, there's going to be nothing in the evenings beyond football, what I was already committed to. But this even meant that I was saying no to going to the JV games, which I think looks bad as a head coach to not go to the JV football games. But saying no to the JV games and saying no to hanging out with friends. And we were just going to be as a family and get into a new rhythm and a new routine for 2 weeks, hard stop on things. And man, our house started having this weight lifted off of it. Our sons, our daughter, she was a couple months old at the time, so maybe she didn't feel it as much, but our family just had the weight started to lift off of it. Saying no is a good thing. And I feel like I'm saying this and I'm doing this lessons learned mostly for myself, like I said. We've got to understand when we say yes to something, there is something else that is going to take a back seat. When you're planning out your year, when you're strategizing for your team, the answer isn't always just yes. There's a no that has to come as a result of that yes. You need to do a good job of prioritizing what you are willing and what you are not willing to say no to. There's always a trade-off. Hope you learned something. Have a good one.